Talent gets you noticed, trust gets you on the field. Welcome back to another episode of JV Matters, where we talk about football and how to compete at the next level. I'm your host, Todd, but I want to just kind of interject something here. I'm going to go ahead and be running a 4th of July special. Of course, it's going to be on the 4th of July this weekend, so you don't want to miss it, so make sure you tune in for that. It will be on this channel. So let's go ahead and get started with playing up at the next level, varsity level. So JV players practice with varsity. They often think that the coaches are looking for one thing: talent. That's not necessarily true. JV the coaches are not looking for talent. They're looking for a few other things. So they're not looking who's the fastest. They're not looking at who's the strongest, or who makes that spectacular catch, or who's throwing the perfect pass. They're looking at other things, okay? Because we can all have that perfect day. We can all be that hero on that one day and throw that perfect pass and catch that best throw and be the strongest in the weight room. Because we got some strong people. Trust me, there's some beasts in the weight room. But that's not everything that we're looking for. Those things certainly are great and they're going to get the coach's attention, but that's not the main thing. So, after like 20 years of coaching, I've come to the conclusion that something else matters a little bit. So talent can get you noticed as well. All right. So we're like, wow, that guy can run the 40 and whatever, 4.48 or 4.6 or whatever. Okay. Look at him bench and all this type of stuff. So we're looking at that and look at him catch all those passes and run those routes. So we're looking at that. So trust, though, however, that gets you on the field. Loyalty also that helps as well. That opens up some doors for you. Every varsity player or every varsity coach, I should say, is asking himself one question, or I should say a couple of questions that most players never think about. Can I trust this player to know his assignment? So do you know your assignment when you step on that field, whether you're varsity, junior, or JV or whoever? Can I trust him to give maximum effort when you get on that field? Are you going to give 100%? Or are you going to take a play off every other play? If you get tired, signal for the coach. He'll put somebody else in there. He's got backups. He's got somebody else that can come in there and relieve you for a couple plays. Can I trust him to respond when he's being coached? I've coached players that they give you that, oh, my gosh, he's at me again. Are you coachable, basically? Can I trust him when the game is on the line? Can I put you in when it's 4th and 2 and we're ahead by 6 and they're inside the 10 or whatever? Can I trust you? That's basically it. When the game's on the line. Because Friday nights aren't just about talent. They're about trust, loyalty. I've coached incredible talented players who have struggled to earn playing time. And here's why. Because they don't show up for practice. They don't show up for things. They miss practice. They miss 7-on-7s. They miss things that are important. Not because they lacked ability, but because they lacked consistency. Again, showing up. One great play followed by 3 mental mistakes doesn't build confidence in a coach. The reason they're making those mental mistakes is because they're not showing up for practices. They're not showing up where they're supposed to be. They're not getting in a huddle or in the playbooks. On the other hand, I've coached players who weren't the most gifted or talented players. They weren't the biggest, they weren't the fastest, but they were dependable. Practice. They were there practice after practice, week after week. They showed up. They were loyal. They could be trusted. Those players earned opportunities because coaches knew exactly what they were going to get out of them. One thing I can tell every JV player is this: don't try to impress the varsity coaches. Show them that they can depend on you. Those are two very different goals. Anybody can make a great play, but not everybody is consistent. Players move up in the program are usually the ones who are consistently doing the little things right. They line up correctly. They know their assignments. They finish every drill. They run to the football. They communicate. They encourage teammates. They listen when they're being coached. Wow, there's a novel idea, huh? Those habits don't always make the highlight reel, but they're absolutely building trust. When you practice with varsity, don't worry about you getting beat once in a while, because you're going to get beat. It's the nature of the game, nature of the beast. Okay? They're faster, they're bigger, and they're stronger than you. So you are going to get beat once in a while, maybe on a regular basis. Even varsity players get beat. But what coaches are watching for is your response when you get beat. Do you make excuses all the time? Do you hang your head? Or do you line up on the next rep and compete once again? The response tells us far more about your future than the mistake itself. I've always believed this: coaches forgive mistakes much faster than they forgive poor effort. Oh, you bet. Okay, that's a big deal there. Mistakes can be corrected. Lack of effort is a choice. Poor attitude is a choice. Not paying attention is a choice. The player who separates themselves understand that every rep matters. Not every rep is going to be perfect, because every rep is an opportunity to earn trust. As I mentioned in the last couple of episodes, every time you step on that field, it is your classroom. It is your moment to shine. That's your classroom. Eventually, every JV player hopes to hear these words: this is the coach. Kid, you're moving up. When that day comes, it won't be because you made a great catch or a great tackle. Well, that's going to stand in there. That's not the reason you're moving up. It will be because your coaches trust you. They trust your preparation. They trust your attitude. They trust your work ethic. And most importantly, they trust you'll represent the program the right way. Football is a lot like life. People may notice your talent, but they'll remember your character. They'll remember whether you kept your word, whether you showed up, whether they should count on you or not. Those are the qualities that open doors long after football is over. Because some of you, most of you, once you hit your senior year in football, that's it. That's the last time you put on those pads. Some of you will never put on a pad again. So if you're a JV player watching this, so in closing, if you're a JV player watching this, hoping to earn a spot with varsity, don't spend all your energy trying to make a spectacular play. Spend your energy becoming the player your coaches can trust. Because talent might get you noticed, but trust is what will earn opportunities. Loyalty will open doors. And once your coach trusts you, you've taken one of the biggest steps toward becoming a varsity football player. So again, thank you for tuning in. If you like what you're getting, if you like what you hear and you're getting something out of this series, share with family and friends, hit the like button and the bell you don't miss any of the upcoming sessions. And I will catch you on the next episode of JV Matters. And you all have an outstanding day.